Our latest flip video has to do with our new unit on growth, which has three parts. The first, which is the Industrial Revolution. Now, in order to be familiar with this, you need to understand the United States as it has grown up to this point. And the best way to do that is to illustrate it using the metaphor of a small child. Now, that adorable fella is Jack, and this is a picture of him right after he was born. Very similar to the United States colonies. At the very beginning, they were just like a very tiny baby. And eventually they were able to sit up and fend for themselves, much as they did during the American Revolution. And then they started to take their very first steps during the Constitution days and the early Republic. And then finally, they started growing like a young child, which is where we are now, with our unit on growth in the Industrial Revolution. Now, we first started growing by expanding our economy through our principle of free enterprise, which we studied in an earlier unit. And then we started looking at the ways that our products were manufactured or made. And then we started perfecting the actual inventions themselves. And finally, our society began to grow in new ways that we treated each other. We also began to develop into different regions, as seen here, the three major regions during this era. Now, they're going to be the southern plantations, the northeastern factories, and the midwestern farms. We'll start with the northeastern factories. As you can see in this illustration, those were factories that pretty much ran on the water power provided by the rivers in that region. And in the southern area, you had mostly former agricultural colonies that had moved from growing tobacco to cotton. And the one we're going to focus on quite a bit is the Midwestern farms. And we're going to see them really grow with several inventions that are catered towards farmers. This is a map of the United States in 1820, and we'll be studying the changes in populations. But we also want to focus on how early on the population was 90% rural. And if you look here, from the 20 years that we're going to be studying, from 1820 to 1840, the population of the United States is going to double. And we're going to look at some of the reasons why.